Sayyidina Zakaria is a prophet. He is about 90 years old. He's been asking for a son for a long time. He's been asking for a son because none of his followers, none of his disciples, none of the Bani Israel were good enough to carry the mantle that he expected and that he wanted. Now, Sayyidina Zakaria himself, as a prophet that's 90 years old, took inspiration from Sayyidah Maryam. He went downstairs and this little girl, 13, 12 years old, is receiving fruits of the winter in the summertime, the fruits of the summer in the wintertime. She's worshiping Allah in the temple, and Jibreel alayhi salam brings her fruits, brings her food, and he gets inspiration from that. She says, Maryam, anna laki had, where do you get this, Maryam? قالت هو من عند الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. It's from Allah. He gives people, whoever he wants, anything without taking anything for account, meaning it's not a transaction. Allah does not need transactions. There's nothing he needs from you. Sometimes we think, I have to do so much in order for Allah to give me. That's not how it is. Allah is generous as his attribute. Pre-eternally and forever he will be generous, and it may come to us through dua. So he took inspiration from that. And he began praying more than he already prays. So he begins by naming all the reasons that he feels he's weak. And this is something we're going to talk about in the future, that when you bring your weakness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is part of our servanthood. Sayyidina Ali said, never bring your weakness to people, but bring your weakness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't humiliate yourself in front of people, but do bring your weakness to Allah, your ajiz. And don't try to be courageous with Allah. First thing he says, قال ربي إني وهن العظم مني. My bones are frail. واشتعل الرأس شيبة. My hair is flaming white. It's so white, it's almost like it attracts your eye. Just like red attracts your eye, just like a red fire would attract your eye. His hair is so bright white, his beard is so bright white that it attracts your eye. اشتعل الرأس شيبة. ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا. Never before did I make dua and lose faith in you. Never before did I make dua and that you didn't answer me. And I never lose faith in my prayer. These are all preconditions. He's teaching us how to make dua here. وإني خفت الموالي من ورائي. I'm worried my people behind me, the generations to come, they can't do it. This is why the first ayah says he made a soft, quiet, private dua. نادى ربه نداء خفيا. Some things you don't want other people to know. There are some dua you make that could offend somebody. That's okay, as long as you're not asking to harm that person. But if you're saying, so-and-so is no good, replace him. So-and-so, no, is not a good kid, give me a better kid. He's saying, my followers, they're no good, bring me someone better. Continues on, he says, إني خفت الموالي وكانت امرأتي عاقر فهب لي من لدنك وليا. Ask for a righteous child, a wali. يرثني ويرث من آل يعقوب. Not only be righteous, he'll take the mantle from me. ولكن يرثني أيضا. He's gonna do the job. You're gonna have a righteous kid that has no business with your business. He doesn't take the mantle from you. So he's saying, I want him to take the mantle from me. يرثني ويرث من آل يعقوب واجعله ربي رضيا. And make him somebody that pleases you. Okay. So he asked for these three things. What does Allah say? Immediately, on that day, after years and decades of no answer, on that day, he heard a voice. Ya Zakaria, inna nubashiruka bighulam. We give you good news of a young boy. In other words, that he will live. He won't just be a baby and die. He's telling you he will be a ghulam. That's the scariest part in the olden days. From birth to maturity, kids would die all the time. All right. So Allah tells him he's going to be a ghulam. That means your child will live.